Greetings! It is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue my discussion on Werewolf the Apocalypse. When we last left off, we begin talking about the traits your characters will have. Let's talk about the tribe. We've mentioned tribe a little bit before, but let's dive into true aspects of tribe. So if the pack is the foundation of Garou society, the tribe itself is your foundation. So you have your cornerstone, your foundation. It's the thing you're based upon. It's what a character bases a lot of their culture on. Their basic identity. And it's their extended family that they're going to have. Without a tribe, a werewolf, a Garou, would just be a lone marauder. But it's the ties that you have to your tribe, which are insular to you, which are part of you, which go across all your other ties to the world itself, to society, to others. There's always going to be this overwhelming aspect of your tribe deeply ingrained into you. Now, when we talked about the modern pack, how it could be composed of many different tribes, the fact is that these tribal alliances and tribal culturisms still exist within them, and it can cause strains on many of the alliances between the pack itself. The fact that your tribe might traditionally not like a lot what the other tribe in your pack does means you're going to be at heads because of that. This still exists. Now, all the Garou tribes, in fact, began as one mother tribe, but it was strife amongst the Garou that drove them across, that broke apart this main tribe, and they spread to the four corners of the earth, where over the course of centuries they began to establish themselves in new territories as the individual tribes they are now. And of course, over those centuries, there have been alliances amongst the tribes, battles, wars between them, territories lost and gained. The tribes themselves have evolved and changed. And of course, should a common enemy that they all unite against occurs, they are willing to take up arms together and fight against this enemy. But they're still fractured and very insular. Cooperation is a new concept. There are many older Garou which still carry many flames of hatred for other tribes and are ready to take up war and arms against them, against the other tribes at the drop of a hat. These battles against each other, this inter-tribe fighting, is the most damaging thing to Garou society there is. If somehow all the tribes were able to get off of their, basically, problems they have with each other and unite as one, there would be no force in any of the worlds that could stop the Garou. They would be an unstoppable force that no minion of the worm could stop. They would just destroy everything, but it is the fracturing which keeps them from this ultimate strength with each other. Now, when we look to each of these tribes, the book lists all the tribes that your players should have access to play. There are a few extinct tribes, which I mentioned before, and of course the White Howlers, which have become the Black Spiral Dancers. These are not tribal options for you. Your tribal options are going to be the normal ones in the book, the extant tribes. Now, each tribe has its own tribal totem. This tribal totem is what teaches your members of the tribe the gifts that it offers, and it gives them a lot of wisdom. Basically, it helps them out along the way. It guides your tribe. Now, this does not have to be purchased like a pack totem. A tribal totem is something that is always there, intrinsically part of you. It's basically just giving you some light guidance. It doesn't give you the same sort of level of right there in your face as a, for example, pack totem would be. Now, each tribe also does have its own traditional types of territory and protectorates. These areas are taken very seriously by members of the tribe. Your territory, your protectorate, is something that is intrinsically put into the soul of your pack, of your tribe. It's put into the members of your tribe. So therefore, you're always looking to protect those areas, to have those sort of territories. Now, it is possible that your tribe could have background restrictions. Not all of them do, some of them do, though. If you have a background restriction, it will tell you a background that you cannot take. You cannot take this during character creation. You cannot use freebie points in order to get this background. You don't start the game with the background. But over the course of the game, if your role-playing should allow you to take points in that background, you are allowed to take it. So if over the course of the game you do things that allow you to take this background, guess what? Now I can finally have it. I just couldn't start with it because Doesn't make sense for my character to start with it. Let's talk more about some other traits and start with the attributes. We're going to talk about both attributes and abilities, but really let's start with the attributes. But for both of them, there is an important aspect I want to list. Specializations. If I have an attribute or an ability that has 4 or more in it, I get a free specialization in that. What does a specialization mean? It means it's an aspect of that ability or attribute that I'm extra good at. For example, if driving is an ability I have, maybe off-road driving is my specialization. I'm much better at driving off-road. If the case where I'm rolling one of these checks comes up and my specialization is effectively triggered, I can count it for this check. I get the rule of 10. What the rule of 10 says is if I roll any 10s on my check, I get to keep those successes and re-roll those 10s and see if I can get some more successes. I basically can use these 10s that I roll, and as many times as I roll a 10 over and over and over again, I can keep rolling it for more and more successes to become more and more successful, because I'm just that much better at driving off-road. But whatever specialization you have, technically. But let's now dive into the attributes more. Well, the physical attributes are the strengths and weaknesses of your body. They are going to be the attributes of action. So if I want to do something physically based, physical attributes. Your social attributes are your interaction with others. It's your first impression. It's your ability to lead others. Your mental attributes are your memory, your ability to think and learn, your ability to perceive the world around you and to interpret it. But that's it for today. I went over some more about traits. First, I started to talk about the tribe. We talked about the tribe a little bit before, but I went into details about it, what it means to be a member of that tribe, what kind of influence it's going to have on your character, and I went over some of the details that you're going to have to look at when it comes to your character's tribe, tribal totem, your protectorate, your territory, and if you restrict some backgrounds. These are 4 important aspects to your tribe that make it very powerful when it comes to building your character. I, of course, then talked about specialties for your attributes and your abilities. Specialties are something that you can get the rule of 10 on, get some rerolls on, something important to note. And then I just went over the very basics of your attributes. Not going into big details about them, just little hints about what the attributes are and what it means to have them for your character, what aspect of your character they represent. In the next episode, I'm going to go over the abilities, and from the abilities, move on to the other traits beyond there, because we do have a lot to talk about still. But if you have any questions, comments, anything you say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's just for the channel, the Empire, the work I do. If you want to show some extra support, you can always check out my Patreon, link description below. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.